In this video, we're going to talk about the number 3 Doors tab for the drawing window in WinBidPro v15 by GDS. And this is the tab you need if you want to add entrances to your elevations. So let's go ahead and click this Doors tab. And what you'll see is an Add Entrance button, a little list in the middle, and some buttons on the side. These are for editing and deleting any doors and entrances that you've added. And the middle shows you what panels and just summary information for those things you've added. So let's get started by clicking Add Entrance. And next thing we need to do is tell it what panel. So let's go ahead and say Panel 1. Now there's a few different ways to add entrances. I can either add a door frame and leave it at that, or I can add a door frame and then add a door leaf separately. Or I can add an entrance, which is a combined configuration of a door leaf and door frame. And then I can add an entrance from another elevation or even from the same elevation in this job. So once you've added an entrance and configured it and tweaked it and added parts to it, whatever, you can actually use that one again easily in a future elevation. So we'll show you all these methods. So let's start with add door frame. And you'll notice that it's automatically sorting our list to, or filtering our list down to the 1 3/4 profile door frame. And that's because we're using an 1 3/4 elevation frame. Now, if you wanted to pick a 2-inch door frame, then you'd have to hit clear filter. So then it would show you the entire list of door frames, and it might be much larger than what we see here. But in this case, this is what I want. I need a transom frame. So there's two different types of transoms. There's the transom frames, there's a transom with a transom header, and then there's an H type without a transom header. And the transom header is what closes the top of the door frame above the transom itself. So keep that in mind. That's why we call it H type. So that's where the transom bar at the very top is not included with the door frame. It's actually part of the elevation frame material. So in our case, I'm going to say I want a transom header that's included with the door frame. So, but to show you how this filter bar helps, we're going to narrow this down to a certain type of door. So I want a right hinged door, and keep in mind, right hinged is the same as left-handed. That's why we'll see sometimes an LH in the door description. Since it is right, it's going to be either 36 or 42 probably, but I'm going to say 36. I'm going to say 84. And as soon as I start changing the filter, it kind of resets the original filter. So I want to go ahead and or put in the 1 3/4 again. And since the word transom is used throughout for both the H type and the with and without transom header, I'm actually going to specify more what I want it to do. So if I just say transom parenthesis, then it knows I want the one with the transom header. Now the next thing is the pivot type, and I'm going to say butt hung. And surface mount closure is over here. If you have a bigger monitor, you can actually expand this a little bit. I guess I can too. Um, so these are the criteria. The next thing is what the description's telling me. Rim exit, CVR exit, offset arm, things like that. Let's go ahead and pick the rim exit and select that as our door frame. So it draws that door frame in automatically. So the next thing is I can either leave it at that, close the window and move on and start working on the rest of the elevation. Or if I do need to add the door leaf, I can just click add entrance again, tell it the panel, and then click door leaf. So you have to have a door frame in order to add a door leaf. That's the caveat here. But once you know that, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to widen this a little bit, give us more stuff to see. And you'll notice that right away it's filtering this down to right hinged 36 by 84 butt hung surface mount door leaves. So now all I really need to tell it is what style. So if I want a medium style, and now notice how it reset the list a little. So that's something you just got to deal with, I guess. So I'm just going to type in. It would have been easier just to pick it from the list, but I want to show you how this works. 84. Oops, and butt hung, and then surface. So now I've got these choices for, and then I can actually even go further and type rim. And there's really only one door that meets that criteria. So as you type, obviously it's narrowing down that list of options. So I've added that door frame, then the door leaf, and there I've got my entrance. And so the next way to do it would be to go ahead and tell it what panel. So let's say we want an entrance in panel 4, and I'm going to pick a complete entrance package that's been configured, or just an entrance that's been configured. The part numbers are actually contained in the individual configuration windows. So um, we're just telling it really, we want this entrance, which consists of this door frame and this door leaf. And this time let's do a pair so I can start using the filter stuff here. And I can do medium. So here's our choices. And this list can be added to. I can hit add new, type in a description, go and pick a door frame and a door leaf, and I've created my own entrance. It's real simple to do, and you can name it whatever you want. And then keep in mind that you can check favorites. If I check this favorites box, every time I get into this list, it it's going to show the favorites at the very top. So if there's a few different entrances you use a lot, then go ahead and check them as favorites, and those will always show up at the beginning, make it easy to find. And so let's say I don't need a blast door, I just need this transom pair here. So now it's that simple just to add a complete entrance. Um, Now there's one other option. So remember back when we hit add entrance, let's go ahead and do a panel 8 entrance. And this time I'm going to actually add from the job. I'm going to pick one from the job. So in my first elevation, I have a pair, and then in this current elevation, as you see, I have the right hinged and a pair. So since I want a single, I'm going to go ahead and pick the right hinged and select that, and it's just going to throw it into. Now let's say I want that to hinge the other way. I could have picked a different door, but if it's just something I want to quickly change, I can go ahead and say edit door frame parts, and I want to make sure I'm looking at the right, or selecting the right entrance. So panel 8 entrance, door frame parts. Um, there's a few things you need to do. So door hinge, I'm going to change this to left hinge. The sizing's all the same, so really the part number would change. If I want to change that, I would click in here, either delete it and change it, or I would actually put the cursor where I want it and right click in this little box down here, and then go find the part number that I need to change that to the type of door frame I want. So that's how you do that. If anything else needs to change, like the fillers or any stock lengths, you would change them here. Remember, there's a whole nother video on how to configure door frames and things. So now what I should see, so sometimes it doesn't refresh the drawing, and that's worth noting. You have to hit redraw for it to do it. Oh, and actually it's not going to show, when you change the door frame, it's not going to show the swing. So I'll actually have to edit the door leaf now and change this to left. And then, like I say, the styles, all this information, there's another video that's going to show you how all this stuff works. But mainly here, and this is for drawing's sake, I want to change it to left hinge, and then probably the part number would be different. So I'd have to pick a different part number. Same way, I can either change that and type it in, or I can click and then right click down here and the parts list comes up. So, and I could insert the part. So after I've changed those things, now we should see a change in the swing. And that's basically how you edit a door and a door frame. You can do, you can change the profiles that way, you can change the sizing that way, you can change all that stuff. So remember to watch the other videos that get into more detail on the configuration of the actual door frame, door leaf, how to create the entrances, and then name them yourself and all that. And then also the detail drawings. You can actually have detail drawings show up for your entrances in your shop drawings. So that's a whole nother video too. But that does it for this one, tab 3. Thanks.